Okay, here we go. Hi there again. I'm Jason. Welcome back to the Whiskey Classroom. Well, Adam and I have not ventured into the world of Irish and Scotch whiskey very much. Scotch kind of was a bad experience for us a while back, so we might give that another try with a different variety, but we're not sure. Still a little bit of queasy about that first one. Anyway, I went out and picked up a couple of Irish whiskeys, but I didn't want to spend a lot of money. So what I did is I found that cute little gift set right there at my liquor store. It also has a third bottle in it, but I'm not going to venture out into that one yet. I wanted to compare Redbreast 12 to Redbreast 15. I've never had it. I know that there's some familiar tasting notes in it that I've heard from other reviews, so I'm about to see if it actually does that for me. But we did want to branch out into something different other than just bourbons and ryes and wheat whiskeys. So we thought Redbreast was a good place to start. I'm going to start with the Redbreast 12. And I'm going to see what I think about that first. It's funny, I get a little bit of that same malty nose on this that I got on the Scotch that I tried, which has me a little bit scared here at the front. I've heard some people describe this as kind of a rich shortbread cookie smell, but I don't know where they get that. Maybe I just don't know how to smell shortbread cookies. I have no idea, so. Yeah, it is very malty. Got that malted barley on it. It reminds me a lot of what Benchmark 8 smells like when you first open it up, so I'm hoping that there's not similar flavor profiles here. I can't get away from that. I just get, every time, malted barley, malted barley. There's a sweet element there too, but I'm waiting to see. Okay, I'm going to give the Redbreast 12 a try. Here we go. Okay, the palate is definitely not the nose. When I drink that, I don't get nearly as much of the malted barley. As a matter of fact, that finishes kind of like a really low-proof, smooth bourbon. That's actually really nice. I think I could get behind that. But that nose doesn't say that. That's what scared me about it when I first picked it up. If I handed this to Adam, I think he would be a little bit, he's like, oh no, you put monkey shoulder in that. You had to have absolutely fooled me. But no, I didn't. It amazes me that there are a lot of bourbon notes in that. I think there's maybe a little bit of the vanilla that I get out of the bourbon at the beginning. But you miss the barrel spice right at the beginning. You miss the tannins of the barrel in the back. And again, Irish whiskeys and Scotch whiskeys are not aged in the new American oak like bourbons and ryes and wheat whiskeys are. These are aged in previously used barrels from some other spirit, some other distillation. Matured in the finest oak casks. I do know that that one up there is finished in a sherry cask, so a lot of these are fortified wine cask finished. That one is nice and smooth. It actually is a really good drinker. I don't know that I would do that as a daily because, again, it doesn't fit my flavor profile, but this is the first time I've tasted these. I have no idea what to even expect. But I had heard a lot about Redbreast 12, and that's a good one. I think I could probably get behind that as a maybe once in a while kind of a drink. Again, I'm not used to it yet. I don't know, so I'm the bourbon, rye, wheat kind of guy, and that's what I kind of expected, so I got shocked by that. So what difference does 3 years make? We'll find out. Let's see. Wow, that's a totally different nose. That's not even close to that right there. This has almost more of the bourbon rye kind of nose to it. That I get a lot of similar elements out of that I would out of bourbon or rye or wheat. Not as nearly as malty. There's something in that extra 3 years that they do that makes all the difference in the world. So I may be leaning this way versus that way. Just from the nose alone, if that's all I had to compare, I would definitely live here first. No, it doesn't have all that malty nose at all. It's a sweet nose. There's a little bit of vanilla in there. It's sugary. Not brown sugar like American whiskeys, but better. I would definitely take this nose over that one. I'm going to take a sip of this and see what we think. There may be a little bit more malt in the palate on this one than that one was. But it definitely is not Scotch whiskey. That's for sure. The experience that we had with Scotch was not pleasant at all. These are not doing that. So they weren't even an Iva Scotch. They weren't peated either. It was a blended Scotch of Speyside, Highland, various malts. But I'm trying to figure out what's in there. It's almost a little bit flat on the nose, but it's definitely not that. You don't get the malted barley noses. There's the slightest hint of that malty Scotch finish there. It's barley. I mean, it's got what's got to be because they have those in common, but it does not finish like the Scotch did. This one, I'm almost close to saying that the finish of the, if I had the finish of the 12 with the nose of the 15, you would get an absolutely perfect blend of something to drink. Now that could also ruin it. Sometimes you blend whiskeys together and you get nothing. I mean, it's not as if the sum increases what is there. It is as if it shuts down a lot of the flavors and nose that there would be in just the individual products. For the case of it, I'm not going to risk it. I would rather just keep these handy for anybody else who might want to taste, or maybe I just want to go back to them by themselves. But I would take probably, if I had to pick one, and naturally I have expensive tastes, I think I'd have to pick the 15 over the 12, just because the nose here is a little more off-putting than the nose here, even though the finish here has a little bit of that barley maltiness that this doesn't on the finish, but I think I still would probably lean toward the 15. Well, there's my first venture into Irish whiskey. All in all, I was not disappointed. Would I go back to these again? Sure. If anybody invited me to their house and say, hey, would you like a Redbreast 12? Absolutely, please. If they said, would you like a Redbreast 15? More than absolutely, please. Both very good products for Irish whiskey. Again, this is my intro. I have no idea what else is out there besides that little sip of Jameson. So I would definitely take one of these if it were offered. Those are fantastic as far as, again, my world in Irish whiskey goes. So we ventured out in the classroom a little bit today. We've gotten out of our comfort zone. So we've gone on an exploration. Glad you were able to join me today. We hope that you like the lessons you're seeing so far in the classroom, and if you are liking those and would like to see more, we would like for you to subscribe to our channel and like, please, and also leave a comment in the comments section for lessons that you'd like to see in the future. So for now, always remember to drink your homework. Class dismissed.